I don't think we were just meant to like walk on the earth and just be triggered by things constantly and to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they said this. I can't believe they did this. This means that, and this is so upsetting, and this is so rude, and this is so unhelpful, and this is so hurtful, and this is so, if you are someone who is constantly, your dominant emotional state is upset and it is anger, I want you to know that that's not all there is out there, and that state is being generated by your perception and by the state of your nervous system. And unfortunately, that is the world you will experience. You will experience an angry, dangerous, hateful world, because that's the state you stay in all the time. They get really upset and they're like, she doesn't care about me. She's super rude. She doesn't think anything through. They have this story about their mother-in-law. It's important to know that there's the space in between is the meaning-making machine that our brain goes to work to define and decode and to explain why she said that.
There's a processing in between the circumstance and your interpretation of it.
She said words. But do you notice if I say that, you're like, where did the drama go? Exactly. All the drama's gone. The drama is you. You are the drama. If there's drama, it's because of us. And the reason we know that is because we know there are other people. So like if I have someone in my life who drives me crazy and I told someone else exactly what happened, they wouldn't have an emotional reaction to it. They'd be like, oh, they might try to like feel sympathy for how I'm feeling, and they might try to understand it, and they might try to support me, but like ultimately they aren't feeling the same way. I think it's a big deal to take accountability for your emotions. I think it's not good to not do that. It's not good to make everyone else the problem. I don't think that shows emotional intelligence. I don't. I do think it's an easy place to live, but it's just there's no accountability there. And I think the best thing we can do is be like, I'm feeling the way I'm feeling because of the way that I'm seeing the situation.
Where's the line between like allowing somebody to say something shitty and then you taking responsibility for your emotional reaction and the story you make about it, and holding somebody accountable for saying something shitty?
I don't know. I think that's an interesting place to be, because what is holding somebody accountable?
You shouldn't say shitty things to people.
That's true. And I don't mean to play like devil's advocate on this. Of course you shouldn't, but people will be that. And so holding them accountable and being like, you shouldn't have done that. You always have a right to feel the way that you feel. But again, you're still feeling the way you feel because you believe people shouldn't act that way. It's still based on a story. So to me, I'm like, I'd rather pull my energy out of that and direct it somewhere else and not keep myself in places where I feel like I'm being treated in that way, you know? So I don't know, I might have a weird take on that, because it doesn't mean you just let anything happen and you just let it and you stay in that environment.
For example, let's say it's your spouse, right? Someone you love, someone you live with. Are you just going to let them say whatever they want and then just change your story about it every time?
They're going to say whatever they want regardless. So I guess what you're trying to say is like, at what point do you decide you want to say something, you want to have a conversation? You get to do that whenever you want, and also know that they still might not change. Yeah. They might still keep doing that. We have the accountability for our perception. We also have a responsibility to make decisions that might be hard to make. Like if you're in environments or in relationships with people who are doing things that you consider to be shitty, you should pull your energy out of that space and that relationship and go somewhere else. So that, you know, it's just hard, because if you're always making it about other people need to change, I think it's always worth it to see if there's a perspective shift for you there first.
You have more power over that.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to keep going around and trying to change. You need to change. You need to be different. This isn't okay. This isn't. And then it's like, are you doing anything on the inside of you too? It's not, you know, like there is a balance between, I think you work on your perspective first. You come from a clean place. And by clean place, I mean, you really like your reasons for why you're about to make whatever decision it is that you're going to make that you feel is the right decision. My recommendation on that is space. Give yourself space to be able to act in accordance with your values and what's important to you, so that you don't do or say things that you regret or react. We don't want to react. We want to respond if we decide we want to respond. But I also believe that when we change ourselves, our environment changes. We experience everything in our environment differently when we are different. And so I always feel like that's a better place to start than let me change my job, let me divorce my spouse, let me change all. That's again trying to solve it by let's change everything external.
Right.
Let's first look at the way you're perceiving it. This is not an excuse. I'm going to give the caveat. I don't need to give, but like, obviously this doesn't apply to places when you're in imminent danger or where there's active abuse going on. Please don't be like, how could I see this differently? Okay. We have to use that common sense in this area. When it comes to a place where you are just someone who's constantly upset by everything all the time, that's a really good signal that it's a you thing. If you're upset by everything all the time, that's the trick. You live life in a triggered state. The whole world is not going to bend its knee to you. You have to look at, what is this bringing up in me?
I think some people get off on just being triggered all the time too.
Yes, I do. I agree with you. It's just, I believe that it gives a dopamine hit. I believe that whatever chemicals are produced by outrage and being in that triggered state, people have grown accustomed to. I really do. It's a state that a lot of people spend a lot of their time in. I like to say that's an option. That's up for grabs. It's a choice.
I don't think they see it that way.
They don't see it that way, but that's fine. That's coexisting in this world.